Thank you. Thank you. I always hate it when people get up and talk about different things about me, so I appreciate you not doing too much. That's awesome. And I think we just need to get Jimmy up here to sing some more. How awesome was that? Man, great job. And AC, great job, great testimony. I tell you, I have played in front of more than this crowd right here, and I'm still a little nervous, so don't worry about it. It's you always get nervous when you get up and speak to a group of people. And Coach Doc, great job. Do your athletes call you Coach D? Because the Coach D that I play for has a much stronger and mean voice than you do. You're pretty sweet, but I thought your message was wonderful. And first off, I need to thank my parents for being here and for supporting me the entire time of my career and my whole life and putting up with me. I'm very blessed to have parents like that, and I got to thank Rachel for all you did for me in the last 2 years and for what's to come. I'm really excited, and I know you are too. And your parents, soon-to-be parents, I guess, too. So just thank you all for showing up and for being here. And I'm sure there's other people that I need to thank tonight. Lots of people who have guided me through my career, and if you're out there, thank you. But ever since the national championship game, I've been able to travel around to a few places, going to the doctor and back, or going to the facility that I'm traveling to and back here. And a funny story, as I was in the airport the other day, I had to share this. There was this man, this crazy guy. He gets up, the rushers, the travelers, they get there late and think it's everybody else's fault. And we've all been there before, but this guy was awful. This guy walked up to the desk, he had his bags, he had his, a clothes hanger full of stuff, and he was screaming and telling this lady at the front desk, I have got to be in Florida. You don't understand. I've got to be in Florida, and I've got to make this flight. And, really using some pretty, violent language, in my opinion. And the line was full. There was some delays. There was some weather. And I'm just sitting in the back. I got there early for some reason. I'm never on time, but I was there. I was on time this time. And just watching how the lady handled it. The guy's screaming. The guy's yelling, saying, it's your fault I'm not on this plane. And the lady's like, yes, sir. I'm sorry. I apologize. It's my fault. She was handling it with such class. And so the guy got ready, and, he ended up, the lady told him, sir, you're going to make your flight. You're going to be okay. Please calm down so I don't have to call security. And she was handling it with a lot of class. So I finally get up to the line, and I told her, I said, ma'am, I just want to commend you for the way you handled that. That was tough. And she knew my name somehow. I don't know. She said, Colt, thank you very much. This is like this a lot of times. And when guys like you or some, older people come in and are really friendly and really nice, I really appreciate that. And she said, the guy's going to make it to his flight. He's going to make it to Florida, but his bags are going to end up in Mexico City. So I thought it was really, really pretty funny. That guy got exactly what he deserved. But, that all comes up to the issue of trust. And trust is something that I really want to focus on tonight, because trust is one of the most important things that I learned as an athlete through FCA. And it really hit home this year. I've been involved in FCA since junior high. We did huddles in junior high. We moved on to high school. We had huddles in high school all 4 years. So FCA has been a huge part of my growth and my faith and my influence. And a lot of my credit goes back to FCA because of what they've done. And it's been a very important part of me and my success. And really this year, though, I've been in FCA throughout college. A lot of guys on our team have, a lot of women from other sports teams, a lot of guys from other sports teams. We all are involved with FCA, and we have a solid group at UT. But most importantly this year, I learned about trust. And I learned it with a core group of guys out of FCA. Guys like John Gold, Emmanuel Acho, Sam Acho, Trevor Walker. I'm probably leaving a couple guys out. Jamison Berryhill. There's several guys that really connected in FCA. And one of the cool things we did this year was after every meeting that we had, we would bring in a speaker. We would have music. Sometimes Jimmy came and played for us. It was awesome. But we would break up into small groups. And as FCA went along throughout the year during football season, from the very first time that we met together, we talked about trust. And we talked about what does it mean to trust in God? What exactly does that mean? How can we fully give ourselves to God? It was one of those things that was really weird how it started out. But each one of us in this group, in our FCA meetings, was dealing with trust problems, trust issues of how can I completely trust in God? Away from FCA, this same group of guys, because we were so involved with each other, we were so connected, we started this group on Thursday nights where we would just come together at somebody's house, whether it be my house, whether it be John's house or somebody, and we would just sit there and pray together. And we would pray for trust for each other, trust in our relationships, trust for God to guide us through this football season, and that His will be done, not ours, and that there's so many verses in the Bible that come back to trust. One of our favorites all year long was Jeremiah 17, verse 7, and it says, "Blessed is the man who trusts in the Lord, whose confidence is placed in Him." And that was kind of our motto all year, secretly. Nobody really talked about it. Every time we would get together, man, hey man, how you doing? Are you trusting? How's your life going? And how's football going? And there were so many things that we were really involved with, and it all spurred from FCA. This has nothing to do with this, but one time I was out hunting, right? I love to hunt and fish and be in the outdoors. I was sitting in a deer blind, and I was fortunate enough to get to go to South Texas, and through the deer blind, I'm not seeing any deer, obviously, so I'm looking around and getting bored, but up in the sky, I see this huge blimp, and it's actually tied down to a big steel cable up in the air, and the guide who I was hunting with, I kind of asked him what it was. You could see it, playing up in the sky, and he said, that's the Border Patrol up there, up top in a blimp, and they have so much technology, and they actually have heat sensors up there that can look down and see like how many people are in the deer blind or how many people are running across. They have communication where they can see what they're saying, what people are talking about. They have so much technology up there. It's pretty scary. But that made me think of the verse that you just mentioned, Jeremiah 29:11. God knows everything that's going to happen. He has a plan for everything. And to make that communication possible, you can see the blimps up there. They know everything that's going on. They know how many people are in the car. They know how many people are sitting in the deer blind. They know what you're talking about. And God knows the same thing. And when you think about that connection, I always think about my trust in God. How is my trust going? Do I fully give myself to God and let Him know that no matter what happens, I'm going to trust in Him? One of the verses that we talked about all the time was Colossians chapter 3, verse 1. It says, "For my life is hidden in Christ." For my life is hidden in Christ Jesus. And what we always talked about after the trust was that every time we step on the football field, we have nothing to gain, nothing to lose, and nothing to prove. It took me a long time to get to that point to where I could step on the field knowing how hard I prepared, knowing how hard I worked, and knowing that when I step out on that field, all that preparation is going to pay off. But the most important thing is that I have nothing to gain out there. I have nothing to show anybody. I have nothing to prove because my life is hidden in Christ, and He's going to take care of me. And all of us through FCA learned that important concept of trust. And so what I'm leading into tonight, and I've never really talked about it before, is the national championship game and what went on in that game. And through this whole year long of talking about trust, of talking about a core group of guys in FCA coming together and praying for trust each week, I don't think anybody in that group really understood what trust meant, understood what fully giving your life to God really meant. And in the national championship, I faced with a huge challenge in my life. And you work for something your whole career. You build up to the climax. I mean, that is ultimately the biggest game that anybody can play in college football. It's the Rose Bowl. It's the national championship. And I was so excited to be there. Our team was so excited to be there. We were about to win, I promise you. And it was...